All right, good evening again, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. Tonight, we will have Indy Hunger Network to share their services with us, and so we are very excited to host them on this platform. My name is Terry Brooks Allen, and I am the training manager at INRC, and I'm joined by my coworker, Danae Freeman, and Danae is the engagement manager at INRC, and we make up the neighborhood services team. So tonight, we are very happy to have Indy Hunger Network with us. And Tom and Maxine will share their goods and services with us. Tom is the community compass coordinator. And after several years of working in the service industry, he took a certification or got a certification in informatics at Ivy Tech and was able to partner the two and find a position at Indy Hunger Network. So welcome, Tom. Maxine serves as a Food Resource Center program manager with firsthand experience and professional background in hunger and poverty. She has a deep passion for community and food justice. She has served on various boards locally and internationally, using her voice to speak up for those living in poverty. So Maxine and Tom, welcome to INRC's info session platform, and I'll turn it over to you.
Great. Thanks so much, Terry and Danae, for having us here this evening. Thanks everyone else for joining and spending some time with us to learn about Indie Hunger Network and some of the programs that we run. And thanks again for Maxine uh, agreeing to join me here and help present information about Indie Hunger Network. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started. I'm going to start with just kind of an overview of Indie Hunger Network, then some of the programs we do, and then get a little bit deeper into some of that information. If there are any questions at any time, feel free to just stop me and ask. There'll also be contact information as I go throughout for our different programs. And then I'll turn it over to Maxine once I'm done. So I'm gonna go ahead and start sharing. All right. And the ever-present question, everyone can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. All right. So Indie Hunger Network is a coalition of organizations in the greater Indianapolis area. We promote access for all to nutritious food through a sustainable hunger relief system. Here we can see logos of all of our partner organizations that we work with regularly. And I'm just going to take a second, trying to move this out of the way so I can see better. Okay. Indie Hunger Network's mission. Our mission is to address systemic hunger issues and eliminate disparities in the greater Indianapolis hunger relief system through collaborative programs, advocacy, and research. So how do we execute on that mission? Through several avenues that we take through our work. The first one being we foster collaboration and coordination among partners and stakeholders. So all of those logos of our partner organization that you saw on that first slide, we meet regularly with them and figure out how to share resources between organizations and how to best execute on all our common goals and share resources when available. We also raise awareness of hunger and how to address it. We do some marketing for SNAP and WIC. We also lead programs that fill gaps in our hunger relief system outside of the mission of our partner organizations, which I'll go into a little bit later. Some of those are pilot programs that we run and either hand off to other organizations, and some of those, if they don't have a good fit with any of our other partners, we take those on ourselves and see those through. We also support hunger relief partners in their efforts to improve their efficiency and effectiveness. whether that's through our work with food pantries in the area or other collaborations. We also do advocacy work for policies that will alleviate hunger and its root causes. There's a lot of things that can affect that in different ways that sometimes are very directly related to hunger issues and sometimes are peripheral to that we try to um, get our word in. And then we also conduct research to monitor food insecurity in our community and inform our collective goals. So every about 3 years, we do a meal gap study, which helps inform our work, and then we can share that with our partner organizations as well. So our programs, Indy Hunger Network's focus is on improving access to food, improving the nutrition of the food supply, and increasing the sustainability of the hunger relief system in Greater Indianapolis. When we see gaps in the system, we create programs to fill them. So some of our programs, Cooking Matters, which I'll talk about later, which is cooking and nutrition education. We also have a food pantry network that supports the emergency food system. We also run a program called Food Drop, which is a food rescue and donation. It redirects truckloads of food that would otherwise be discarded to pantries, food banks, things like that. Community Compass, which connects people to assistance. It's a digital tool that I'll talk quite extensively about here in just a second. It's available as an app for smartphones or on the web. And then the Food Resources Hub, which Maxine will be talking about here later, which is an in-person resource that's relatively new to our organization to help connect people with the available food resources for them. And then continued, we do some SNAP and WIC marketing to increase awareness and enrollment in that program. We also lead a food pantry summit. These are for food pantry leaders and volunteers in the greater Indianapolis area. Once a year event that helps them connect, learn about best practices. Yeah, basically just a lot of learning and connecting with other food pantry leaders. We also do meal gap study, which helps inform the work that we do that I brought up earlier, and also can be shared. And we have a food pantry manual, which is a best practices manual for food pantries in the area. So at this point, I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into Community Compass and what that is all about. This is the program that I work with. I'm the Community Compass coordinator at Indy Hunger Network. So my day today is working with this program, making sure the resources on here are up to date and partnering with our developers to make sure that things are working properly. So Community Compass is available on the web. All you have to do is type in communitycompass.app and that will bring you to the home screen. It's also available on the App Store as well as Google Play. So depending on what kind of phone you have, just navigate to where you buy app or where you download apps. It is a free app, free to use. So yeah, and then some partners and funders that have helped Community Compass get off the ground as well as sustain itself. So as far as users of Community Compass, who uses Community Compass, there's two main two main types of users that use Community Compass. Those in need of food assistance in Indiana, of course, those are people who are looking for a food pantry, a free meal, where they can use SNAP and WIC benefits or any of these other resources. And the second group are primarily people who are helping navigate people to those resources. If someone doesn't know where to look, or maybe doesn't have access to Wi-Fi at their place, or for whatever reason there's some sort of barrier, maybe they can go get help from someone else, and that person can help them navigate to food resources near them. So on average, we have about 40,000 users per year in Indiana of Community Compass, and we've had over 100,000 users since launch. 75% of those we found are people using Community Compass on their mobile devices, whether that's through a browser on their phone or downloading the app, and about 25% of those users are using it on their computers. So, the three main uses for Community Compass. One of those, of course, is to locate resources, free groceries, free meals. When I say SNAP and WIC stores, I just mean places where you can go to use those benefits, whether that's grocery stores, convenience stores, anything like that. And then also WIC clinics, which are those locations where people can go to sign up for WIC benefits, have any of those questions asked, get help signing up for those benefits. You can also check your eligibility for federal nutrition programs using the SNAP and WIC calculator. I'll go into this a little bit more in depth later, but it's just a quick screening that takes a few minutes to be able to see if you're wondering if you may be eligible for those benefits, you can use that quickly to find out. And then you can also find events and classes. These are any sort of events or food distributions that don't fit nicely into sort of our categories that we have on Community Compass. So it may be a farmer's market that accepts um, like double up bucks, for instance, where you can go spend a certain amount on produce at the farmer's market and they'll match that dollar amount so you can buy twice the amount. Or maybe it's a cooking and nutrition class offered by the state of Indiana through different programs or anything like that. All right, so kind of an overview of how to use it on the homepage. There's two ways to search, basically. You see there's an address bar, and then there's also some resource categories below that. You can search either way. So if you're looking to search for resources in a specific area, you can use the address bar. Just type in the address of where you're looking for, or even if it's not a specific address, it could be a city, a neighborhood, a zip code, anything like that. And if it's registered on like Google Maps, then that pulls up that area. And then you can filter after that. And if you would like to, you can also search just by resource type. If you're looking for food pantries near you, you can just select free groceries. That'll bring up things that are in your area in that category. So quick overview. I know I've kind of gone over this, so I'm not going to spend too much time about this, but the free groceries resources on Community Compass are going to be things like food pantries, churches that distribute food to their communities, any sort of food distributions, or places that will bring food to take home. So most of the times, this is food that you will, similar to groceries, take it home, prepare it. We also have free meals resources. So these are going to be more things like prepared lunches, soup kitchens, places where you can go get a prepared meal. And then, of course, SNAP and WIC stores, grocery stores, convenience stores, places where if you have those benefits already, you can find out where to use those in Indiana. And then WIC clinics to go sign up for those benefits, get help. You can also see all using this last resource category selector. Once you're in the map, we do have filters. So if you're looking for one that's open on a specific day or that serves a specific age group, if you're looking for resources that specifically serve seniors, of course, most of these places don't have age restrictions, but some of them are geared towards seniors. So if you're looking for those, you can find those. Um, we also have information on, I'm sorry if you can hear my dog barking in the background. Um, if you need information about what kind of documents some places need, some places require an ID or proof of address, something like that. So we like to provide that information just so people have that information before they go make that trip across town. And then you can also filter by distance. So if you're looking for something within like a mile or two of you, you can filter for that, or you can, of course, widen those boundaries as well. And then one thing that we found that some people get a little confused about, so I like to go over is resource clustering. Sometimes there are a lot of resources in one area, especially in the Marion County area in Indianapolis. So in order to display these in sort of an efficient way, we've used these clustering systems, which will just tell you, as you can see here, like in the center, it kind of says 8 resources. If you click on that, it'll take you in and you'll be able to see those 8 resources. Or as you zoom in and out, that will kind of change to let you know how many resources are in a particular area without that being too clustered together. So a quick overview of the events page. You can navigate to this through the top bar here. These are cooking and nutrition classes, farmers market that accepts SNAP, WIC, and FreshBucks, one-time food giveaways. There are summer meals for kids listed on there, health fairs, WIC events, things like that. The help and about pages, these are going to answer any frequently asked questions. There's a feedback form if you're having technical difficulties, or if you'd like to add a resource, you can navigate to the help page. You can also find the Snap and WIC calculator on the help page. And then there are also some brief resource category descriptions for users. And then on the About page, of course, there's a quick blurb about Indy Hunger Network and Community Compass, and you can also find digital flyer downloads there as well. One thing that we're really excited about is the Snap and WIC calculator. We partnered with snapscreener.com to implement this on our Community Compass website. Um, it's located on the help page. If you just scroll down a little bit to the Snap and Wake calculator, and then select Get Started. This is available in English, Spanish, and Haitian Creole. And you can just answer some quick questions about your household to see if this is more of just like a pre-screening. So this is not an application process. But that application process can be intense and quite in-depth. So if you're just wondering if you would qualify or not, you can take this quick pre-screening. And entering your email is optional, of course. You can do this anonymously if you'd like, but if you do fill out your email, we have it automated so that once you fill that out, you immediately get an email of even more resources to help you along the process. And as far as translations go, we've translated Community Compass into, oops, I'm sorry, getting ahead of myself, it's available in English and Spanish. Those are definitely the two most popularly used languages, but we also have Arabic, Burmese, Chinese, French, Haitian Creole, Hakachin, Karen, Swahili, and Yoruba translations for the website. And that goes throughout the website. Those translations are there, and we have flyers in all of those languages as well. For people who may have recently moved here that might be more comfortable speaking in their language than where they're at in their English speaking. One thing we're proud about is that it's easy for people to suggest updates as far as keeping the information correct. If you work with a food pantry, or if you go to a food pantry or know about any changes, if you find that resource on Community Compass, there's this button, is this information wrong? Let us know. And you can click there and then update quickly any sort of information that may need to be communicated to us so we can update the hours so everybody knows. Or I guess as an example, the hours. Lots of pantries will change their hours year by year, depending on who's volunteering or if they see a need for a different time to be available. So lots of places will let us know, hey, our hours are changing. They submit that to us, and then we approve those changes, and then that gets pushed through and updated in our system. Oops. I'm sorry. Is there a question? Okay. Um, and then as far as why Community Compass was created, so this is going back to our hunger study that I mentioned earlier, the research that Indy Hunger Network does. So we had found that 25% of Marion County residents are food insecure and 7% are missing meals. And on top of that, people are not accessing, uh, are not able to find what resources are available to them. So even though there are people who could be missing meals, there's some overlap in the people who are missing those meals and the awareness of what might be available to them. So it's really trying to connect those pieces of, if you're in need of food, how can we get this information to you in a quick, easily easy and accessible way, right? Without having to um, make an appointment or, you know, go out of your way if you don't have transportation or whatever boundaries or barriers there might be. So yeah, this is just touching on that a little bit more. Community Compass tries to make this information as easily accessible, and we do our best to keep this information accurate and available. We also provide detailed information. So this allows users to make informed decisions about where they want to go. There might be a place that's very close to them that asks for more documents than they're comfortable providing, so they can make a choice to go somewhere else before they waste their time driving over there, realize this isn't the right resource for them. So it just allows them to make informed decisions, or if there are Spanish language or other language interpreters, we list that as well. Um, and then just a brief timeline of the development of Community Compass. 2016 to 2017, this was when the concept was created, a partnership between the city of Indianapolis and Indy Hunger Network. And then through 2019, the app was developed and user testing began. The initial product was launched in 2020, in February 2020, right before everything shut down. And then in 2021, we started working on, this is when I was onboarded at Indy Hunger Network as an AmeriCorps Vista, and I helped with the process of expanding the data set statewide. And then we also launched the website and included additional translations with that website. And then in spring 2023, we launched a brand new version of the app that was redesigned with first and foremost with the user experience in mind, trying to streamline things, make things as easy to use as possible, and make sure it's as accessible to as many different types of people as possible. Okay, so accuracy and feedback. These are really important values for us with Community Compass. We want to make sure the information we have is accurate, and we want to be hearing feedback when it's there. So we do this through a few different routes. We internally do regular verification and updates. This is making phone calls, sending emails, being in touch with these food pantries and meal sites, making sure that we're hearing back from them about any updates, getting as much information from them so we can present the users with that information. We also do data management with trusted partners around the state. So these are people plugged in with their areas. We're more familiar with the Marion County and greater Indianapolis area. But we have some people in northern Indiana and southern Indiana and different parts of the state that work that are more in tune with those areas of Indiana and what's going on there that can send us updates as like just another way to make our data update process more robust. And then of course people can email us at communitycompass@indyhunger.org anytime with updates or questions. We do have free outreach materials. So these are flyers, stickers, business cards. We have digital materials for downloads. We also distribute yard signs. And I will share this. There's a QR code coming up soon, as well as I can share a link to this order form if anyone's interested in ordering those. So all of the flyers that we have been translated into every language that Community Compass is available in. Stickers, business cards, yard signs, not so much. We just have those in English, but the flyers are available in all 11 languages. So if you are interested in helping, there's three ways you can do so. One, help us keep site information accurate. If you're working with food pantries or you're involved in one yourself, you can always send us information to help us update that. You can help us share and promote this resource by ordering Community Compass flyers, sharing them within your network or your organization. And then we also work with volunteers from time to time doing data updates, so helping us make those calls and emails to make sure we're presenting the most up-to-date information. And if we have some time, I might do a quick demo of Community Compass, if that sounds good, or do we feel?
Tom, we had a quick question in the chat.
Yeah, sure.
Mona was asking, how do you download flyers, or how do you get the flyers?
Yeah, so there's two ways. If you're looking for digital copies, we have those on the About page of communitycompass.app. So I'll actually show that really quick. I won't go too in depth on the website, but I will show you where the digital downloads are. The About page right here, and scroll down, spread the word. And these are digital downloads in all the languages. Um, if you'd like to order bulk materials, we also have that link here. All you have to do is click on this form, and I'll also paste this in the chat. So this will bring you to a request marketing materials form that gets sent directly to me, basically just where to send them and how many you'd like, different languages, and that's pretty much it. And they're free to order, and then we send those out as quick as we can. It usually takes about a week or so. And I can go ahead and paste this link in the chat to order. I might have to stop sharing for a second. Are there any other questions at this point? I'm going to do some quick overviews of some of our other programs and then turn it over to Maxine if not. Okay. All right. So moving on, let's see. If you do have questions, yeah, here's a QR code for anyone that has their phone out and ready. You can also scan that or click the link in the chat to order. You can also email me if you have any questions or would like to follow up about anything Community Compass related. So now I'm going to go into some other programs that we run at Indy Hunger Network. I am not the expert on these programs, but I'm going to do my best to share them. And then there is also contact information for follow-up questions. So another thing that we do at Indy Hunger Network is a food pantry network. So we support food pantries in central Indiana by prioritizing collaboration and best practices. So here we can see kind of a map of the greater Indianapolis area and all the food pantries that exist within it. There are over 200 food pantries in Marion County alone and over 150 in the surrounding counties. So food pantries provide this unique role, right? They can support either chronic or acute food needs, whether that's immediate assistance or long-term support for community members. Um, and what IHN does is support those priorities through supporting food pantries, whether that's through our grant program, collaboration, providing resources, and nutrition access. So I briefly mentioned the Food Pantry Summit earlier, once a year event that Indy Hunger Network hosts that food pantry leaders can go to learn and network. We also have coalition groups. On Indy Hunger Network's website, you can find a digital copy of our manual of best practices for food pantries. So for people who might be looking to start a food pantry or are looking or run a food pantry and are interested in learning more information about how to continue to grow that, more best practices, they can see that on our website. We also do provide printed copies of that upon request. And then we also do a Healthy Nudges program, which helps prioritize nutritious food in food pantries. And then if there are any questions about this, contact Alex Sindorf. She is the Food Assistance Programs Manager at Indy Hunger Network, and her email is right here. So now I'm going to talk briefly about Cooking Matters, which is another one of the programs that Indy Hunger Network has been running for quite some time now. So The Cooking Matters team is Megan Gendig and Emily Patterson. Contact information here. So Cooking Matters is a national culinary and nutrition education program targeted towards parents and caregivers of children ages 0 to 5 years old. Cooking Matters offers programming in 6-week series, 4-week series, and also one single session programming. And the programs are run through partners of Cooking Matters. It can include churches, community centers, WIC centers, Head Start centers, among many other types of organizations. And within this past year, the Cooking Matters program has been working on reaching outside of Marion County, including the surrounding areas through the Satellite Partnership Program, which I'll touch on here in just a second. So as far as the class experience goes, each week a new nutrition topic is covered, including culinary skills, and participants are taught how to prepare an affordable and nutritious meal. They have learned about knife skills, so learn how to safely chop and prepare meals. And then while they are cooking, incorporate nutritional and culinary information that applies to the recipe. At the end of each session, whether it's in person or virtual, participants receive groceries to make that meal again at home on their own time after the class is done. So the in-person experience, these classes can last 1 to 2 hours. They're held on site at partner locations, and there are several different, stipulations for partner qualifications, just to make sure those classes can be held safely. And this will provide participants with hands-on experience, and participants receive groceries at the end of class to take home. And then for the long-term Cooking Matters program, if participants come to all of the classes, then they also receive complimentary cooking item. So as far as the virtual experience, these classes are usually 1 hour long, and the groceries are delivered. Instead of taking them home from the location, they get delivered groceries after the experience, and then they can cook along via Zoom from their homes. So this is just a list of nutrition topics that usually is covered. So how to use fresh, frozen, and canned produce, using canned goods, reducing sodium and sugar, incorporating more vegetables and fruits, and then also the ability to adapt a recipe, and knowing that can be a guideline, and you can shape those recipes to some of your preferences and dietary needs. So how to become a Cooking Matters partner. They are expanding the program to reach sites through Marion County, as well as outside of Marion County through the Satellite Partnership Program. So here is a list of those requirements, I suppose, for locations. A sink within walking distance, tables and space for up to 20 people, nearby working electrical outlets, an individual to coordinate recruitment and be the lead contact for the site. And then 4 counties that lie outside of Marion County, all the programming is done via Zoom, excluding satellite partnership. A little bit more about the satellite partnership. It started in 2023 to reach the surrounding counties. And I believe these yellow counties over here on the right are the ones that we have established relationships in. So this is sort of a model where I keep saying community campus. Cooking Matters employees train sites on how to lead Cooking Matters programs. So it's sort of training these sites on how to lead them on their own. and how to become involved. You can become a volunteer or intern if you're interested in supporting Cooking Matters in that way. They do have a pretty consistent volunteer um, program. So let's see. There's options for a nutrition instructor, for an assistant, or a culinary instructor. So whether or not you have direct experience cooking in kitchens or not, there's probably a role for you if you are interested. And here is some contact information for Cooking Matters. Okay, and then at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Maxine so she can talk about the Food Resources Hub. Thank you all. Or if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer those too. I'm sorry.
Wonderful. Thank you, Tom. Hello, everyone. Let me go ahead and share my screen. And are we all able to see my screen? Okay,
Yes.
wonderful. Thank you. So I'm Maxine Thomas. I'm the director of our Food Resource Services Hub, which is a fairly new program that we launched here at Indy Hunger Network in partnership with the City of Indianapolis Office of Public Health and Safety and Indy Hunger Network to be able to help combat some of what we've seen, we'll say post-pandemic, some of the things that we have seen regarding folks not having access to some of the resources to get connected to some of the programs, federal nutrition programs, and other means of food-related resources. So Tom did a wonderful job explaining a lot of our other programs here at Indy Hunger Network, even touching base on what we do here at IHN. And so just thinking about the end goal, regarding our vision for the Food Resource Services Hub. We also have an acronym for that, which is FRESH. So I may refer to our program as FRESH. But the end goal is for every person in our community to become food secure. We speak a lot about what food insecurity looks like. And those that may not understand some of that terminology, you are more than welcome to contact me and we can do more of a deeper dive regarding just some of that language and understanding regarding hunger, nutrition, and food access, food insecurity, and all the above. So just to think about, I know Tom shared about Community Compass. And so the idea, even with Fresh, is bringing Community Compass to life with an in-person experience and being able to have multiple points of access for individuals who are serving community members that may lack food resources or experiencing some form of a hunger crisis or needing to get connected to food-related resources. And so we have fresh navigators that assist individuals with these resources. But just to kind of touch base on what that may look like, we do understand that there are barriers that our clients are up against regarding why there is why they may be experiencing hunger or some form of food insecurity. And so we know from transportation, accessibility, maybe it's a disability status of whatever reason, economically, low paying or under paid jobs and things like that. We know that housing is also a huge barrier right now, that we have seen an uptick, not just in our community in Indianapolis, but across the country. We know that having lack of resources or not really knowing how to network and connecting to those resources, which is one of the ways that we have provided through Community Compass, being that resource tool for people to know what programs and events and all those different food-related resources are in an area that are made available. Some folks may even experience barriers such as lack of technology and communication. And then also thinking about environmental also could play a factor in why there are some barriers there. Just want to give a background on just how we have kind of incorporated some of these barriers into how we're able to meet the needs of our neighbors through our Food Resource Services Hub, also known as FRESH. Just taking a different look at this, I like to share how it's oftentimes important to take a consideration of making it personal. You know, thinking about how we see these problems in our neighborhoods and what housing impacted, whether it's our communities or our organizations, and understanding that the importance of connecting client-facing organizations with food and nutrition programs is really a valuable resource to be able to build stronger communities. We'll understand that there's different strategies that organizations and even neighborhood community centers and such may be able to use these resources to assist their participants and visitors with the resources with applying and getting connected to programs such as federal nutrition programs like SNAP and WIC and other food-related resources. And also understanding that there's organizations that are out here like Indy Hunger Network that is doing the work out here that would love to connect through many programs, through many opportunities, such as our Fresh program, Community Compass. Again, there's that SNAP and WIC screener, and then we provide a nutritional toolkit. Let's see. So ways that we're connecting are to resources. We have understanding that there is also want to be innovative, having a different approach to how we are meeting the needs of visitors and those experiencing food insecurity. We have now learned, even through the meal gap studies, that oftentimes some of our visitors may be just those that are working class families that are just trying to make ends meet. So how can we be able to provide these resources and assistance to those that are experiencing a form of need in this area? So accessibility is one of the priorities that we focus here with Fresh, and being able to have both in-person experience as well as virtual experience. So visitors are able to actually schedule an appointment online, call us and have an appointment, or even come on site. We do pride ourselves in being able to have a full document center for those that may need to actually submit documents when they apply for benefits like SNAP. We know that SNAP has been one of the #1 programs that's been able to help lift families out of poverty or even fall deeper into poverty. And one of the reasons people are denied for SNAP benefits is because of failure to submit documents, because they may not have access with transportation to get to a local office to turn those documents in a timely manner. And then they have to start that process all over. So just being able to provide these resources and access has been really a pivotal point for us here at Fresh to do just that. We do that through our food resource navigators. And so being able to have more of a holistic approach, having that one-on-one experience, making it a natural opportunity for those to be able to feel comfortable coming in and sharing that they have a need, but also being able to get connected to those resources. And so our navigators are able to take those individuals through an intake process and being able to see exactly, oftentimes people may experience a form of hunger, whether it's through symptoms, but also realizing there may be other resources that they need to get connected to. And so when they come and reach us, that's when we'll learn that, okay, they may need assistance with toiletries or housing assistance, utility assistance, transportation. And so we are able to provide those type of resources to refer out to other agencies in our community that we have collaborated with, to be able to make sure that we can at least assist the individuals with not having to go across all the different areas to just get connected to different points of need. And so with that, I will also share that at our Fresh Hub, we have partnered with Indiana Department of Education. There was a summer program this summer that just launched across the country called the Sunbucks, which is a summer EBT program. We've been able to connect families of eligible students in Indiana to get connected to those applications and help streamline some of those communications with that. And so those are just ways that we've been trying to find to be able to help continue to bring access, because again, those barriers oftentimes that people face, lack of communication, transportation, and just not having that resource pool of networking. And so, again, just thinking about how we could take action in our organizations and communities, being able to understand that being a welcoming space, we thinking about what the face of poverty and hunger look like is not the same as it was 30 years ago. And so being innovative in this space, we want to be able to know that a lot of times pre-pandemic, I used to do outreach and understanding. We were trying to just dismantle myths and break down those barriers of what hunger and the stigma that came along with people applying for benefits. So now on the other side, we know that we have fallen deeper into a threshold of where there's a larger gap that needs to be filled with those that have a level that we want to be able to respect their dignity and integrity. So we are just really encouraging those that we partner with, serve, and provide even with our own clients to be a welcoming space for those to feel comfortable and being able to receive the assistance that they need. just as Tom shared with community
Maxine, I think you're frozen.
other opportunities that will be able to help bring awareness and opportunities for individuals to be able to see that. I did just receive a notification that my unstable. Or is everyone able to hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Wonderful. And so another way that we can also provide with our organizations and communities is just connecting with partners across our network that are not just, confined to just our local area, but being strategic on how to expand that network of resources. Because again, we may come across individuals that have a different need than what we, expect them to actually be that point of contact with us. And so, what I encourage those that are here today, if you are interested in being able to or have an interest in wanting to get connected, I have my contact information here as well, saying yes, if you would like to provide those type of resources, we have those readily available where you can have that available to be able to share with anyone that you're serving. It doesn't have to be an actual service. If you see somebody just in the grocery store or somewhere that may need a resource, just understanding that you can share that community compass. You can share our fresh resource flyers. That's my direct email, maxine@indyhunger.org. And if there's a way that you would like to partner or collaborate in that way, we can schedule time to be able to take a deeper dive into how we could be able to connect to continue to be a resource to those that we're serving in our neighborhoods. And somehow my screen froze. All right. And that's all for my presentation. Sorry about that, everyone. But yeah, so we are really excited to be able to do such with our Food Resource Services Hub. We have our hours are Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at our Indy Hunger Network office. That experience for in-person experience will be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. The information is available on our website as well. And then we have also connected with other partners to open up satellite location sites across the city of Indianapolis. We are opening up another location at 71st and Shadeland. We are aware that there's a growing number of food insecure neighbors up in the North Shadeland area. And then we are partnering at the 21st and Franklin area with Obeto Food Pantry. And we have a partnership with Cafe and other partners where we are able to provide outreach at some of food pantries and different tabling events and things like that. So thank you.
Thank you, Maxine and Tom. That was awesome. Um, if you have a question, if you would please come off of mute and ask your question, or you can put your question in chat. So the floor is open for questions. Okay. I thought someone was trying to ask a question and she was on mute. So I have one question. You mentioned documentation in order to get services. What type of documentation is traditionally required?
Sure, if they're applying for SNAP benefits, documentations would be able to identify who the individual is. So some form of state ID, driver's license, passport, as well as residency, showing that you are a citizen of or resident of Indiana. And so we do know that there are individuals who may be unhoused. And if they don't have a physical mailing address, they are able to include if they are homeless or unhoused, but they will still need to provide a mailing address, which can actually be the local Indiana Family and Social Service Administrative Office. And we have so much so been able to extend our current address at Indy Hunger Network as a mailing address for any of our fresh visitors that come on site. So basically, income is also another level of documents. That is why this program has been shifted to the dynamic of making sure that we're calling it SNAP, which is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, formerly
Mhm.
known as food stamps. And so it is income based. So with that pre-screening tool, we know that they can give individuals an idea if they are eligible, but if we can be able to help them locate proof of identity, residency, and income, that's just to get started with being able to receive the benefits.
And if they go to a food pantry, are they requiring any type of documentation? I know probably not the extent that SNAP is, but just a regular food pantry, you would need to call ahead to find out if you have to have documentation.
Yeah, if you're asking about Community Compass, we do um can everyone hear me? I see it. Some
Yes. Yeah.
okay, okay. I saw a couple frozen screens and I was wondering if it was me or but yeah. So what Community Compass does is just provide information. So we do collect information on the food pantries, right? So and it's up to those food pantries. Some food pantries will get their food from government programs, which require them to report who they're distributing those foods to. Some food pantries don't have any of that. So we like to just list that, right? So if we're sharing information about a certain pantry, we want people to know if I go there, do I need to bring my ID? Do I need to bring proof of residency or any other sort of documents? Because some places do require that, and it's really
Mhm.
on a place by place basis. If they don't require any documents, we like to list that as well. So if you find a food pantry near you and it says no documents required, then you know you won't have to provide your ID or anything like that. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question. Is that
Yes, it does. I was just curious as to why they would need the documentation, but if they're having to report back to the source of they're getting their food,
yeah.
I understand that.
And I think most cases that's all that it is. Some places like to keep track like sometimes if you don't have to bring your ID, they just take your name. Some places that's just so they can get to know you better. Some places that's so they can just kind of track how many people they're serving each week. But yeah, I think a lot of times it's just for their reporting purposes.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so
Okay.
I hope that
Thank you.
helps clear that up.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
There was a question in the chat from Aaron Barcy. It says it was mentioned that data is collected and used to make decisions. How is that data collected and used? Is that shared with other organizations?
So is this a question for, I guess, which program regarding which program is this question, or like, where is this question pointed? Is that for Community Compass or?
Aaron, do you mind typing that in the chat or coming off mute?
I think it was for Community Compass.
So I guess the when I'm saying we're collecting data, I'll try to be as transparent about that as possible. Usually, what I'm referring to in that sense is that we're collecting this information about the food pantries just so we can present it to our users. We do have, as far as like any sort of information we're collecting about our users, it's very basic. It's location. Uh, we pull location data just so that we can then provide resources in the location where your IP address is being pulled from. But we don't do any sort of like specific demographic information when we're collecting user data for Community Compass. Does that help clarify that? Or are there further questions in that regard?
No, I was just curious because it was mentioned, and I know that there's been a lot of websites that has data or very high level data of that in Marion County, and I just wasn't sure if
Mm,
that's how that's used or how it was collected.
right. Yeah, really how that data is being used is so we can tell where Community Compass in the state is being used, where we can do focus our outreach efforts. It's certainly not sold to anyone or used for any sort of other reasons other than just making sure that we're providing the best service that we can.
Well, I know I would need a Cooking Matters course personally. I would need that course personally. So, do you ever do workshops at like conferences for that hour to promote that or anything on that scale?
I know that they do some outreach, and similar to what we do with Community Compass and Fresh, they're there tabling with us to help spread the word about Community Compass. As far as like more information on partnering or having those classes in certain areas, I think the best route would be to just reach out to Megan. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Are there any other questions for Tom or Maxine?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I logged in late. My name is Marcel Sukdale, and so I'm just kind of new to all this. I don't really know what I'm doing on this thing, how to operate it or anything. Kind of
You're
embarrassed.
fine.
But I guess I gonna need to learn more about the Indie Food Network as well as the Community Compass, because like I said, I logged in, so I missed a lot, and the Cookie Matters, just basically all of it, um, because I know that I can fit in somewhere,
Okay.
and I'm trying to figure out where
All right.
to try to
So
help.
the entire presentation, what you missed, will be uploaded on YouTube.
Okay,
And yes, and you will get an email letting you know that it's on YouTube and you'll be able to watch it in its entirety
okay, great.
3 times a day if you want to.
Yeah, I do
So,
a lot of YouTube, and I'm a night person.
okay,
I'm usually up all
great,
night. Yeah, yeah,
great.
so great,
Well, it will
wonderful.
definitely be there and you can share it with neighbors as well.
I sure will. I sure will. Okay, wonderful. Nice to meet you guys too.
Thank you for joining us.
Uh-huh. You're welcome.
Are there any other questions or comments? All right, Maxine and Tom, thank you so much for all of this information. I mean, a ton of information. So we definitely appreciate it. And I'm really excited again that it will be on YouTube and people can go in and watch it as you were presenting. We have a group at INRC that's associated with the AmeriCorps, Tom, called Public Allies. And I think this session would have been something that they would definitely benefit from as young professionals getting started. So I know that some of them are in need of the resources that you all provide. So we will definitely be sharing this information with them, and hopefully that will be a partnership that they can create with the Hunger Network, as well as get them on YouTube to view if they just want to go through that process alone. without INRC's assistance, but definitely something that I really believe that they would benefit from. All right, if there are no other questions, I'm going to close it out and thank everyone again for signing on with us. And if you would, we will email, I see a note that says, what is the YouTube channel? We will email that to you, and you'll just be able to click the link and you'll be there automatically. All right. So again, thank you so much, Maxine and Tom, and thank everyone for joining us. We'll be here again next month. Probably not the third. I think we have to reschedule that one, Danae. Is that the session that we're rescheduling? That no, it's not.
No.
We're not
Mm-mm.
scheduling that one. It'll be the third Tuesday in September, and that will be the guest for that platform will be Citizens Energy Group. So it will be 6 to 7:30 again, and we will just watch our social media accounts, and we will have that information there for you to log on and sign up. But thank you again, and have a good evening.
Thank you.